Have you ever gone hiking and heard something freaky coming from somewhere in the wilderness? Maybe you heard something near your camp. Have you ever heard anything coming from beneath your feet? Maybe something deep within the mountain you're standing on. Or have you wondered what sort of mysteries are hiding inside the mountains? From government facilities to cavernous cave systems, most of us don't have any idea what we could be stepping on in our day-to-day lives. Who knows? Maybe there's a secret laboratory beneath your office building. Or maybe there's something far more sinister. And that is what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, I'm going here.
If your power goes out, remain.
Welcome to the graveyard.
Everyone in the theater went, oh!
No, I don't smoke cigs.
You can't just sit down and watch it.
Take personal security precautions to avoid becoming a victim of an attack.
This is the Supernaturals podcast on the SPN network.
Welcome back to another Supernaturals episode. We are your hosts, Cal and Jake. Still feels weird to say it like that. And welcome to another Unsolved Mystery episode. Excited. This one's going to be fascinating to me.
Yes, it is.
Because we talked about it sort of on the Miami episode, where this kind of similar theme came up. And I was like, I don't know what I think about this topic. Being a little cryptic here so we can keep it a little mysterious, but...
Yes. But the important thing is that it is an Unsolved Mysteries episode. And we know that those are some of our top listened to episodes. And
you love them.
Don't blame you at all for
they're interesting.
Them. They are some of our favorites to do. And yeah, I think that this one is going to be really, really spooky. But just a quick dive back in. If you're new to our podcast this season, there are a bunch of unsolved mysteries that we have done before. We've done the Valley of the Headless Men in Canada. We've done the Kamer-Dobbin incident, which was in like Russia area. We've done the Dyatlov Pass incident, which was also in Russia. Personally, I think the Dyatlov and the Kamer-Dobbin are a very good, like 1-2 episode.
And they aren't meant to be in order, but you should watch and listen to them in order.
Yeah, they're very like relatable to one another. So that one's cool.
So similar.
So that's fun. And then, yeah, I mean, shit, what else have we done? I don't know. But regardless, those are some of them. And this one is going to be...
We just did Miami.
We did just do Miami, which is kind of similar. This one is weird. I'm not going to lie. Like, this one's not a specific incident like Kamer-Dobbin and things like that. There's not like a history of violence.
Is it just a buildup of many things?
I wouldn't say it's a buildup. You know, Headless Men was a history of violence. It wasn't just one particular incident, and it was just a weird thing. And then we discovered, we went through the theories and stuff.
Right.
This one is strange, man. I do want to ask though. And as you said, this kind of has something to do with the Miami one.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Here we go.
In portals?
No, I don't.
Do you believe that technology could exist?
Maybe. Could it in the future one day exist? Potentially. I don't think we currently have portals right now. But then again, the world is a mysterious place.
What if the portals aren't technological, they're natural?
So like Palm Springs portal?
Kind of, yeah.
If you get the reference, right? If you've seen the movie Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Like in the cave. He just walks into a cave and it just like mysteriously. I mean, there was a little light, but it just took him back into a time loop.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Could you believe in that?
In the dark depths of some cave, maybe. Maybe. I personally probably wouldn't, but who am I to say?
What about time travel?
I love time travel.
Uh-huh.
I just watched a time travel movie just recently
Uh-huh.
because I love Project Almanac.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of time travel because I'm like, shit. I mean, I wouldn't personally like to go try and screw anything up or change anything because I think your decisions in life are just, you make them for a reason.
I would agree.
And, but the idea of it is so cool. I just find it would be so hard to move atoms. It just like, that just seems so difficult.
Yeah.
But if it exists, it already exists. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone invented it and went back in time or forward in time.
Maybe. Yeah, if you really...
But I love the idea of it. I could talk about it for hours.
Your brain like hurts when you think about the fact that it's already happened and there's somebody back here right now. Like
that knows and has done it.
Yeah.
That
which is
is
so...
visiting 2026 and going, wow, this place is crazy.
Yeah. You know what that is? It hurts your brain to think that there's a point in time that's already...
It's already happened.
Yeah. Like everything that we're about to do is like set in stone. Like,
oh, I know.
That's like a weird, that hurts to think about.
You think it's
crazy,
set
though.
in stone like that? Or I feel like you could wake up tomorrow and change the whole course of your future.
But how do you know that like that's not what you had planned? You see what I'm saying?
True.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess
It's like,
that's
how
true.
do you know that that's
You
not
don't know.
your fate already written out? Is that one day
you
you're
would
just gonna
one
wake
day
up?
and change your life?
Yeah. Like everything is, it's, we're already,
It's a mind bend for
we're
sure.
only like 5 minutes into this episode and we're already freaking blowing each other's minds.
You want to do a
Crazy.
Huh? Morty's mind blowers.
Oh. Yeah. So you might be wondering why we have a bunch of like hiking stuff behind us. You know? It's kind of cool.
I was a little curious myself.
That's because today's episode takes place in Germany. No, Germany is not full on hiking and stuff like that. But it does take place in a mountain. So
Another mountain story.
another mountain story. We actually have a few this season.
I know.
But they're all interesting. I've never heard of these before, so I'm excited about these. So this one is truly one of a kind. I personally have never heard of this before, so, you know, I will like say that it's like pretty freaking sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited for everybody to hear about it. It ties a true wonder of nature with with the insane theories that we've come to expect on this show, which is pretty cool. It's like,
I always love the theories of what the hell people think is going on.
yeah,
It's so
These ones are
interesting
wild.
because they can like go from here to here just like that, and it's like, oh, I didn't even think about it like that at all.
mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I don't think you
Maybe.
have any idea what to expect. This is gonna be a mind blowing episode.
I'm ready.
All right, guys.
My
With
mind's
that-
already been blown.
I know.
so-
With that, let's dive into today's topic. The Mountain of Untersberg. Untersberg stands like a cliffed wall on the border between Austria and Germany. It is a massive deposit of limestone that dominates the skyscape. It stands proudly along the southern route to Salzburg. It's not a single peaked summit, though, but rather a broad plateau. It has multiple steep cliff faces and limestone that breaks and sinks, creating a maze of underground drains, springs, and caves. For centuries, Untersberg has not only been a physical landmark for travelers, but it also acts as a weather maker, a water source, and as I said before, creates one hell of a scenic view. So this all being said, the geology of Untersberg is what makes the mountain an ideal setting for myths. From its deep caves to its echoing hidden chambers, Untersberg not only drips, but dives into the realm of imagination and wonder. For our visual audience, here is an image of Untersberg as it towers over the town of Salzburg. We are showing it right now. Isn't that freaking sick?
It's beautiful.
That's pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
I'm actually going to show you. This is what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah. That is nice.
That's pretty freaking gnarly, dude.
I could watch the sun there.
Wish I could get rid of whatever the
Keyboard?
Yeah, I got it. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's a good picture. You know, speaking of caves.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a cave tour?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cave of the Winds.
Yeah, they're really
down-
cool, and they're like fascinating. All the stalactites, right?
Stalagmites.
Aren't there both stalagmites and tights? I thought there were two.
I don't know.
I'm
not a
absolutely
caveologist. Why the fuck you asking
I could be
me?
absolutely wrong.
I just know stalagmites.
Yes. I don't. There might be tights. Maybe I'm just dumb. But
What's
besides
the
the point, right?
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
wouldn't know because I clearly don't know the words. Being lost in a fucking cave, though, would be the absolutely worst thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's dark. If you don't have a light, dude, you could fall to your death in so many ways.
Yeah. I know. There's actually a story that I don't think we're ever going to talk about. It's pretty sad, but it's the Nutty Buddy or the Silly Putty cave guy or something. It's like this super tight area where you have to like crawl through using your shoulders.
I'd get claustrophobia.
Well, a dude died in there.
Really?
Yeah, he like couldn't get out, and they had to like bring a rescue team and stuff, and he just like they couldn't get him out. So he just like died in there.
That sucks.
It literally, if you want to just be sad, look into it.
Yeah, I always wanted to do like the more exploratory like tours for caves and stuff. Then you like watch The Descent and all these other movies that are like very claustrophobic and
As
deal
above,
with
so below.
deal with caves. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, no, I'm actually good on all that.
I know.
Caves can be scary.
Caves can be scary, and
they
who
could
knows
hold
what's down there.
mysteries.
Yeah, exactly.
They could hold mysteries.
And that is what we are talking about. So, yes, you saw the picture of Untersberg.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go over what a karst landscape is. It's basically a mass of limestone that dissolves into caves, steep vertical shafts, and sudden and sunken springs. Places like these truly offer a special experience when you are able to visit. Sunlight is swallowed by cracks in the crust. The air smells like cold soil. The small lakes and streams that appear in what seem like impossible places. Karst landscapes can create natural tunnel systems that bend and loop into a mysterious darkness. Individuals that journey to these places seem to experience things like sudden temperature changes. One area could be hot and humid while another cold and damp. People also hear strange echoes. With tunnels this deep and vast, sound from even a pebble dropping can bounce off the strange geography, creating weird noises that echo for long periods of time. You can also experience dramatic shifts in light or even your sense of smell and direction, and sometimes, although very rarely, have some insisted that they felt their gravitational orientation was off. These types of sensory anomalies are essentially what creates the general criteria for finding portals.
Okay.
The reason we are talking about this specific style of landscape is because that is all Untersberg is. And on Untersberg, there are hundreds of small caves and not to mention one very deep pit system. The pit system made headlines not too long ago for a very impressive cave rescue. Mark Schellingberg had an accident while descending the Rescending Cave, also known as Big Thing, in 2014. He was rescued and all was right in the world. However, this cave truly is a big thing. It stretches around 1,100 meters in depth, which is a little over 1,200 yards if that helps put in another measurement perspective. For our visual viewers, here is an image of the Rescending Cave. Insane. Jake, I'm showing you.
Caves are crazy, dude.
Look at that freaking thing. Look how small those people are, like compared to the cave.
I know.
Absolutely insane. Look at that shit. That cave is massive. And the whole mountain of Untersberg has tunnels like this. So, after putting an image to help understand what we are talking about, it isn't hard to understand why people's sensations are magnified. Word around Untersberg is that the massive quite literally feels like a place you could fall through into another world. Seems like it's just a freaking confusing ass area.
I would say so. You just be confused of where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little curious on why losing your sense of smell and direction causes you to find portals, but
well, we're getting into that. So here's what people say happens in these supposed portals.
So people have claimed they've gone through them?
Yes.
Okay.
So when travelers talk about portals in Untersberg, there are several things that they could mean. There are commenters online that give their experiences, but most are discussed locally within the town. But one thing is constant. Something weird happens to people who travel to the Untersberg Massif. Some describe these portals as physical. For example, multiple stories feature a moss-rimmed cave mouth that apparently can be crossed and exited many kilometers away. So you step in and you come out and you're in a completely different area.
Okay.
There was one commenter online that said they found the cave, but every time they entered it, they would find themselves back at the beginning of the cave.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
you're like, no matter where I go, I'm just like finding the exit again.
Mm-hmm. Another commenter said they entered the cave and immediately found themselves near a spring that they passed a few hours earlier. So there you go, dude.
Well,
it's a portals.
let's be realistic here.
All right, skeptic Jake, let's get it.
Let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance that these people think they went through a portal when in reality they were just lost in the damn cave.
True.
And
it's true.
And you could pass something because it might loop.
It's
and
true.
you just like, I'm gonna keep going this way. I feel like this is the right way. And you're just going all the way back around, and here's that same little pond thing that you found.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my God. I just passed that like 3 hours ago.
It's true.
But you're just
Could
lost.
happen.
You're just lost.
Here's something though.
That's the skeptic right now.
Yeah. Other portal experiences also feature sudden lapse in time. People losing an hour or a day with no memory of what happened.
Okay. Interesting.
Certain other experiences are more like hauntings, with travelers saying they encountered people in old dresses who would vanish when they approached.
That would be kind of freaky.
Yeah, what
you're just like sitting there and you think you're kind of like hallucinating a bit. Probably like sleep deprived, hungry.
And there's some like old timey, like Peaky Blinders looking dude.
He chases you and then vanishes.
Yeah. So I found one story that I actually had to translate from German. It said that a few young explorers went to Untersberg to cave dive. They entered certain areas where they would get nasty headaches until they left the area. But other than that, nothing seemed strange. That is, until they reached this massive cave. They said they shined their flashlights in the cave, but the beam wouldn't pick anything up. It was just black. They described it as a wall of shadow. That's freaky. They decided to enter the cave and immediately felt freezing cold, but they continued forward. They then said that they finally exited the cave, but it was without warning. Like they stepped forward and the world of light hit them with a surprise. The group had wandered into a spring that they described as an intense feeling of warmth, almost as if they were in a humid rainforest. But as they looked at the wall of limestone around them with wonder and awe, they realized that something was a bit off. They heard bird calls that were unknown to them. Certain animals squawked and hollered, and they had no idea what those were. They described this as a sensation of stepping into a place where clocks and the sky behaved oddly. And that was the end of the story.
Interesting.
Imagine walking into like a prehistoric like world.
You're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Like potentially dinosaur era.
Yeah.
and you're just like, they're making sounds you've just never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, if you're like explorers like that, you probably have heard most of the normal animals in a forest.
Yeah. I mean,
you might not be familiar with every bird, but you know, like the ones that make the most noise. You probably are aware of, you know, bears, deer.
Well, like if we were
mountain lions,
hiking,
mountain goats, whatever.
If we were hiking in the mountains here and we heard like a monkey, it'd be weird as shit. We don't have monkeys here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm comparing it to, I suppose.
So just anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah. From like where you are. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about like you see a big ass like black wall and you turn your flashlight on and the beam doesn't catch?
If physics broke, I would be mind blown.
Yeah. That's crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. This shit's wild, dude.
It is a story though.
It's a story, but it's just interesting how a lot of people kind of have similar you know, theories and stories and things like that. So there are other reports that feature the same thing, but these reports all seem to cluster around a few named features. For example, there are little known cave mouths, old shepherding paths, and obscure hollows that are all talked about when it comes to these so-called portals. And it seems like every one of these areas sit along the north face of Untersberg. Commenters passed along their personal experiences saying, quote, "I went down into the hollow, and when I came out of it, it was hours later." Another said, "The ridge looked like it used to in the photos from the 1800s. While this is super fun to think about, I do wish to say that I found all these experiences on travel blogs, internet forums, and even paranormal forums. So it doesn't necessarily mean they are true, as Jake said. But I think that something could definitely be going on in Untersberg that we might not be able to explain. So, Jake, do you believe in these so-called portals, or is the massif of Untersberg just a wonder of nature that screws with people's heads when they try to explore it?
The latter, for sure. Because I'm telling you, the underground is just so unknown, and the wall of shadow, little interesting.
Yeah.
However, all the lost stories and losing time, I feel like people were just lost and they finally found a way out. Maybe that out was 200 kilometers away in a different spot and go, wow, I came out in some different area.
Yeah.
Obviously. Do I think the stories are still cool? Yeah. They're cool. They're interesting. Caves are wild. But I don't think they're teleporting anywhere.
I personally think we just have to take a trip to Germany.
That's what I was
try
thinking.
this out.
Got to go into the caves ourselves.
Yeah.
To see or to believe is to see, I think, at least to me. And we've said that since the beginning because of all the Bigfoot, Yeti stuff. It's not to say that we don't believe it might not be out there, but until I see it with my own eyes, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Let us know, because obviously
you just spilled coffee all over yourself.
Oh, that's so sad. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
It was a portal, everybody. Yeah, what were you saying, though?
I don't even remember.
Damn.
Damn, I lost the whole thought because of this thing. Maybe it'll come back to me. What were we talking about?
If it was real or not, and like us traveling to Germany and trying it. And then you said seeing is to believe. And then I think you started talking about like if it was real.
Well, I don't know where I ended off.
Let's
Obviously,
go from there. Think about.
Well, I already talked about
real.
the Yeti. I think that I already said that statement, right? Yeah. So lay down. We had a little mishap that derailed my thoughts a little bit, dude. I lost all my thoughts. I don't know what I was thinking.
Just think about portals and shit. What were you talking about? We just start something.
Well,
new.
I would go there and check it out for myself too.
If you saw this wall of shadow or whatever,
I told you, if I saw physics break, I would be mind blown.
Yeah, but would you go in?
I don't know. I'd like to say I would right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if I'm standing there and I can see it from the outside and I just go, what in the heck is happening right now?
Yeah.
We'd be like really interested in it, but also like, I don't know if I want to walk in there.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, I think that this is,
But we're curious people, so maybe.
I think that this is a cool, if nothing else, a cool like myth and legend for this area. I think it's like
interesting how kind of these things come to be though.
Well, it's like we don't have myths like this in our mountains.
Right.
You know, we live in Colorado, so I mean, we have ghost towns and, you know, old pioneer stuff all over the place, but
sure there's some sort of gold treasure still lurking around.
Oh, absolutely. But I just think like when our mountains are used with like, you know, bandits and outlaws and cool things like back then, explorers and all that, it's like we don't have, at least to my knowledge, a mountain story and legend like this. And also what I'm about to talk about.
Well, it's true. Because if we did have that, we would all know it from our childhood. Everyone would have been told about this certain mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't go up there or something like that. Right?
Yeah, but we don't.
No.
And I
At least
guarantee you
not that we know.
I guarantee you that every single mountain in Colorado has been hiked multiple times by hella people.
Yeah.
This is all people do here.
Yeah, that is true. You think you're going to have a normal, easy hike with no one there? You'll meet people that are probably earlier than you and later than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then all of a sudden there's just too many people on the trail. And you're like,
yeah,
damn it.
It's the worst, but it is always fun when I like.
You get the mountain hello.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say, I when you go on a hike in Colorado, you can always tell when certain people give up because as you get towards the summit, there are less and less people.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's just like, I don't know. They think it's too hard and they come back down. I mean, I get it, dude. It is hard. It's hard as shit.
What makes it hard is actually the elevation.
Yeah.
To breathe up here.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. I think I hiked there was one time I was in Hawaii with my family and we hiked this little like mountain thing and it was, I mean, sure, it's not a 14er, you know, but it was like so easy.
Yeah.
And there's people that are, you know, off to the side like, oh my God. And I'm like, this was way easier than I thought it was going to be. And I think it's because we live at elevations. So it's, you know.
We're more used to breathing thinner air?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, I'll tell you, I get the best workouts when I go down to like sea level. Like when I go to like lift at a hotel or something when I'm in California or Florida or something, dude, I just can't stop. It's awesome. Anyway, yeah, I think I actually think that these kinds of myths and stuff are really cool. Especially again, like I said, we're about to dive into the theories and stuff.
Yeah.
But I personally, I think that if I saw a wall of shadow, I'm the kind of person that's just so overcome with wonder when it comes to stuff. Like when I get to see the starry sky, like just the, you know, stars in the sky, I just look up and I just think, holy shit, like that's insane. Like lately, all the Artemis pictures are coming out, you know, with all the moon and all that stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, bro, like I'm just blown away by this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that if I saw just a wall of shadow and I put the flashlight in and the beam was just swallowed, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to say my prayers, say goodbye. And I'm just going to walk in and see what happens. I don't know. But anyway.
Come out and you're living in 1910.
Be crazy. What do you guys think? Let us know down below or send us a comment on Spotify or wherever you guys are listening. And I do wish to go over some theories in the mountain, like I said, but one in particular. It is known among locals as the most likely story to explain people's experiences and the weird things that happen up there. However, this story is rooted in folklore, but it is still super interesting. It's going to be quite lengthy, so bear with me. Let's dive in. The Sleeping King. According to local legend, there is an ancient king that hibernates within the caverns of the mountain, waiting for the end of the world to finally awaken. This mysterious individual is known as the Untersberg King. Locally, he is identified as Emperor Charlemagne, but in other narrations of the story, he is Emperor Frederick Barbarossa. Why the difference? I unfortunately have no idea. But apparently, it's one of those two. The beginning of this story stretches all the way back to the Middle Ages. The Untersberg mountain was already seen as a sacred place. Stories spread of strange lights, hidden caverns, and spirits that use the tunnels to cross between worlds. Just a quick pause. It is pretty cool how the stories of portals has continued for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a recent thing. It's been for a long time. But let's get back to it. When Christianity spread throughout the region, many of these older beliefs fused with the imperial mythology. And in fact, in German folklore, there was a common theme of sleeping kings. It wasn't just Untersberg. These legends also lie in the Kiefhauser Mountain, in Thuringia, in Odenburg, and even in Bohemia. The idea was spread to show that great rulers were not dead, but were in fact just resting. They were meant to return in the hour of their people's greatest need and essentially save the day. Untersberg's version of the story, however, was far deeper than the rest. That is because of its vast and different landscape. Its cavern system and sudden mists made it a perfect setting for an emperor's enchanted slumber. In my head, this honestly just seems like a Dark Souls boss battle, which is pretty cool. Like, I could literally just imagine you're walking through one of the portals. It's just this big ass area, and you just look up, and there's just a big ass health bar that shows up, and you're like, damn it. So what exactly is Untersberg's story of the Sleeping King? Well, the story tells that deep within Untersberg lies a vast, glittering hall carved from stone. Inside, Emperor Charlemagne sits motionless at his marble table, surrounded by his knights, all fallen into an enchanted sleep. In some retellings, the emperor's red beard has grown so long that it actually winds around the table. The beard is supposedly still growing, which acts as some sort of clock of mythic proportion that tracks the time he's been in slumber. Every 100 years, the emperor awakens briefly to see if the ravens still circle the mountain. If they do, it means the world is not yet ready for his return, and he sinks again into his ancient rest. It is said that when the ravens finally vanish from the mountain, and when the world is torn to shreds by war and chaos, Emperor Charlemagne will rise from the mountain of Untersberg with his army, bringing a final reckoning or redemption. Over the centuries of this legend being spread throughout the area, shepherds, hunters, and travelers alike have all climbed to see strange figures on the mountain. For example, tall men dressed in archaic armor. There have also been sightings of golden light spilling from the cracks in the limestone. There have also been claims of the sound of distant horns echoing through the mist. There's a very popular story that gets told around Untersberg. The story tells of a shepherd who fell asleep near the summit of the mountain and awoke to find himself in a grand hall beneath the earth. Surrounding the shepherd were knights in rusted mail that sat around a table. Sitting still at the end of the table, there was an old man with a crimson beard. The shepherd watched as the old man awoke. He then spoke with a booming voice. "Do the ravens still fly around Untersberg?" the king asked. When the shepherd said they did, the emperor sighed long. "Then I must sleep again," he rumbled. When the shepherd awoke on the surface, decades had passed. His family was gone, the village changed, and no one believed his tale. Thoughts on that?
It's quite interesting. One thing that gets me is it's like, if he does awaken during the end of the world, it's like he's either going to save it or he's going to keep destroying it. It's
Pretty
like,
much, yeah.
It's kind of crazy. That's an interesting lore to it, for sure. Are there any mentions of people actually seeing him in there?
No, but the one thing I did notice is there's a lot of people that do say that there is weird, like when they're walking through, there is a gold light that shines through some of the limestone. And a lot of people say it's from the bottom. Like, it's not like it's like up above you and, it's the sunlight coming in. It's from
like
the
under a
ground.
door type of thing. Like,
And they're like, what the and you can't get through it because, it's stone and shit. But they're saying like that could be the gold, like his like whole cat. So, I mean, that's a pretty interesting theory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that these folklore stories are always so cool because just on like the off chance that they do exist, it's be such an insane experience.
You just got to make sure you're seeing the ravens circling the mountains.
That is pretty interesting too. They do say that there's a shit ton of ravens that circle the mountain.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
And they say that's
the case.
Yeah. And they say that the mist, like there's like this crazy fog that rolls through. And apparently a bunch of locals think that like, don't go to the mountain when the mist is there. That's when you start to see things, hear things, do all that. Crazy, dude. It's wild. Yeah.
There could be some crazy things out there.
I know. It's true, but it's also like, maybe, look, here's me being the skeptic, but seeing the ravens circle the mountain and stuff, that could have just always been a thing. And the people just create the story to match that.
Right.
But I do think it's still pretty interesting to think. And I can't explain the gold light shining through, cracks and crevices. I don't understand that. Unless maybe there's like a cave underneath them that goes outside.
That might be like sunlight coming through or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
unless if there were stories of where they went in at night and they saw the light. Yeah. That would be crazy.
I haven't seen any of that, but that would be pretty freaking wild.
That would completely ruin our sunlight theory.
Yeah, it would. So it is important to note that the theme of time distortion repeats itself among these stories from not only centuries past, but even in today's stories of the mountain. Going by the theory of the sleeping king, the theory is that those who glimpse the king or stray into his realm often return to find that time has flowed differently. Minutes underground may equal years on the surface.
That's a little crazy.
I know. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's the deal with those ravens? As Jake, we're just talking about. Well, ravens are central to the Untersberg prophecy. In early Germanic myth, ravens were the eyes of Odin.
Yep.
I love talking about Germanic Vikings considering I am one. So I could talk about this all day long. But in the Untersberg version, those ravens actually serve as sentinels. It is said that as long as they circle the mountain's peaks, the king must remain below. Some tales even suggest that when the last raven disappears, the mountain will crack open and the emperor will ride forth with his spectral army. The event itself is called Die Letzte, or the last battle. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Let's see. The legend of the Sleeping King has attracted mystics, occultists, and even political individuals throughout history. And during the early 20th century, certain German nationalist groups, including figures of the Nazi era, became fascinated with Untersberg's power. In fact, Hitler himself, who had his mountain retreat at nearby, Obersalzberg, reportedly referred to Untersberg as a special mountain. Most historians believe that Hitler's meaning was likely symbolic. However, many occult writers have made it seem that the special mountain may be a deeper conspiracy. Authors like Stan Wolf, otherwise known as Wolfgang Stadler, expanded the mythos in modern books, claiming that the mountain hides dimensional portals, ancient technology, or energy centers. His semi-fictional accounts, said to be based on real experiences, made Untersberg a well-known area for European paranormal lore. Today, travelers that head to the mountains still report strange sensations. These include what we talked about earlier, from sudden fatigue to time anomalies to even overwhelming sense of presence. If you do head to Untersberg, you will likely come across offerings at certain cave mouths that pilgrims left. Hikers and paranormal researchers that travel there often carry cameras and compasses, hoping for evidence of the Kaiser beneath the stone. Locals still tell the story of the ravens and the king beneath the mountain. That is because for them, Untersberg isn't just any mountain. It serves as a striking symbol of hope, that one day the king will awaken when he is needed most and will shine a light on the darkness that will inevitably engulf the world in shadow. So thoughts on the legends that surround Untersberg?
The king lore goes deep,
Yeah,
which is crazy. It's so wild that the folklore and myth of this local area is just so big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. It's really cool. Do I believe it? I don't know, but probably not. But I mean, it makes it a fun story about that can keep some spark in your area, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you see that mountain over there? You want to hear a story? You know? Yeah.
Perfect, like, campfire story.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's also a cool story. Like, if we, let's say we traveled there one day and we took, like, Josh with us, we would, like, on the travel, like, on the journey, we would talk about it. You know what I mean? And then he would be like, whoa. You know, it's a cool thing to talk about while you're going to the area.
It reminds me of the Outlove movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, with all the
just like them talking and being researchers of the mountain and then just like going to it, obviously going through some shit, but
yeah,
it's just like that kind of travel story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like excited, thrilled. You've been doing this research forever and you're like, oh, we get to finally experience this place.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. It's cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's look at the final theory in Untersberg. But it's not the final theory in general.
The king's lore theory, well, not really theory, but folklore, right?
Folklore. Yeah.
It's it doesn't really mention a lot about time changing though.
It does.
Does it?
We talked about if you saw him, your time would skip. Like minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. In his
would
realm,
be hours or even years. That's why
I didn't connect that, but
yeah, there's the story of a shepherd who went down there and he came back and his whole family was gone. And like that's what I'm saying.
It's like,
yeah,
I know I always reference Rick and Morty all the time, but it's like
the
that one
thing.
episode he goes into the wine, he like falls or gets like left behind. He comes back, his family it's years later. His family's like no longer there. His son lives there, or grandson, and he's like hates him for it because he left the family.
That is a really good episode. It perfectly describes this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a great episode. But
yeah, then it turns into like cyberpunk shit.
Yeah, and it's a portal.
It's a portal.
But it's just like, it just reminds me of it because, or in kind of like Interstellar when they're on that planet for just a couple seconds or minutes or whatever. And all of a sudden everyone back home is like 80 years old.
Well,
and you shouldn't even be alive.
I saw there was a post the other day I saw on Instagram and it was like, just so you know that since the release of Interstellar, only like 1 hour and 20 minutes have gone by on Miller's planet or something like that. And I'm like, crazy. Yeah, it's interesting, man. All right, here is the final theory we're going to talk about. It's not the final theory of the mountain, but the majority of people do believe in I kind of picked the most likely. Like the most popular is the Sleeping King, and then this one is honestly, in my opinion, the most fascinating one. We already talked about Hitler's like interest in the mountain. And you know, I mean, that's how like Nazi zombies was like a thing, because he was always focused on trying to create like the next like forever army or some shit. Like he was always trying to find like some weird shit.
Yeah.
And that movie Overlord like perfectly captures that too. You know, they're trying to, it is a good movie. If you haven't seen Overlord, that's a good movie. But so I was really fascinated by this one, but, so a constant modern layer of myth around Untersberg claims hidden Nazi tunnels. It is said that the Nazis used the power of the mountain for science. They also had weapons storages and laboratories for occult projects deep within the caverns. These theories are constant due to Untersberg's proximity to Obersalzberg and the documented Nazi presence around Burstischgades. My bad. However, after scouring the internet, it seems like there are no factual evidence that any Nazi practices occurred in Untersberg. But I mean, as I just said, the Nazis were up to some weird shit. They were trying to create super soldiers and things like that. So who's to say they weren't trying to create portal technology, and it worked, and the lasting effects of the project are now the cause of all the weird stuff involving the mountain. I don't know.
You never know.
It'd be pretty interesting. But anyway, that's pretty much where we are. So that is it. What do you think about Untersberg? Is it just a mountain full of striking geography that it trips our brains out, making us believe certain things? Or could it be something else, like a sleeping king deep within the mountain, or Nazi portal technology? Let us know down below.
Exactly. Wild theories.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I know there's no death and murder, so I know.
Sometimes we don't have that, but
it is an interesting.
I love talking about just insane things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one for
really
sure.
Get your brain stirring, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. I know.
Well, guys, thanks for staying with us through this crazy unsolved theory lore.
Yeah, do you think it's a sleeping king or some shit?
Yeah.
Also, if you like more stories like this where we kind of go through folklore of just, interesting places around the world, let us know, because I think we have a couple more on here, but some of them do include like people dying. So if you want more of the low key stuff like this one, let us know.
Yep. And
you know what's cool? Actually, I love this is that we have certain episodes that are meant to like scare.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely like freaky. They get your skin crawling and all that kind of stuff. But then we have episodes like this where it's just like mind boggling.
I know.
It's just like truly like, what if?
I really hope our listeners / viewers, they sit there and they're like excited, kind of like how I am, where I'm just like, wow, that shit's crazy.
Well, I hope that it makes you want to go check this place out, because like that's what it makes me want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I'm like, damn, I gotta go into that cave myself.
Gotta go into Untersberg, see what happens.
Yeah.
I will
say,
just
to hear the stories from the locals, it might be interesting.
Exactly.
Right? I think that would be a cool experience alone.
Imagine going to a place, chilling at like a bar, and you just have like the locals telling you, and then you just like look out and it's just like right there.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's some crazy shit going on in that mountain, dude. Yeah. I don't know.
You watch the fog roll in.
Yeah, dude, the crows circling. Imagine you're driving up to the thing and you just see like the crows or the ravens, and you're like,
that would be such an experience.
Somebody could write a book or a movie about it. Low key. That'd be pretty sick.
You could.
Anyway. All right, guys. Well, that was fun.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. We will be back next week.
Yes.
And we'll see you around the graveyard. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Supernaturals. Be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms. See you around the graveyard.